So that we are connected. Okay, if customers giving feedback, what are the problems with the solution, and then further figuring out what are the problems with products, and then further to platforms. So the complete hierarchy of feedbacks is the one which we have done. One way and second. Any doubts in this one before I go to the stage one? Any clarification? Sure. Okay. Do you find this is okay, or we have missed out something? Is there anything we missed out?
So, did you find any risk and mitigation when you try to?
Of course.
How did you mitigate your risk? Say, example, you said you are going to deploy in the customer portal or whichever environment, right? It would not be the same in production. As you know, yesterday.
But anyway, I will explain about that. Yeah. One is, of course, we rely on the automation, heavily on the automation aspect, as you was mentioning, automate everything. So one of the thing is automation, and another aspect is for the dev and ops. Even though we call here in the strategy, there should be some kind of management team who has to ensure that these two are collaborating with each other. That is one example. Netflix. Now Netflix, you must be knowing, there is no ops. Now they're following no ops. There is nothing called dev ops, which means everybody is dev, everybody is ops guy. Of course, that is a very advanced feature of it. So one is a management's commitment, and second is making these people are collaborating in automation. These are a couple of things we have taken, but as I mentioned, there may be some of the things which depends upon this.
So, but ops is more about governance, right? So, how are we going to operate the system? How are we going to address all the issues which are coming up? Right? Yeah. When I deploy any software, I have a lot of governance around the operations. Yes. Like this is how the software should be. This is what the escalation mechanism should be. But they are not more aware about more internals about the system, right? Very basics only. They play a governance role rather than collaborate.
Yeah, your point is right. And they are having their governance excellently developed at their area. Dev side, they are also having the governance excellent their area. But these two governance are completely misaligned. When there is escalation, it goes on to the horizontal, but vertical movement of escalations or this governance connectivity, that's somewhere we found it missing. So that would be one case. But there are several experiences. Maybe I can share about many things. But that's a good question. Okay. And in case if you have further questions, my Twitter is Raj S Stanley. I just mentioned, so you can also just flash me or appreciate me, whatever you want to do, just do it. So I will be happy to answer your questions at data point also. Now stage one, what we are focused is on purely on these some of the blocks. One is on the automated compilation and packaging. So which means from the level of the build itself, how do we ensure? This is a very basic thing. Of course, whoever following Agile or CI, it's not much kind of thing. So automated compilation and packaging is the area we focus. Automated build and continuous integration. Okay. Anybody is having any doubts on the blocks, please ask me. I assume these all things you guys know. Wherever we have made some good goody words, I'll explain. Third one is automation of things and things. THINGS and THINKS, things. Which means everything has to be automated. When I say that, whichever are relevant and can be automated, should be automated. Things. When I say things is now now testers capability is okay. This is a feature, and they just they look more from a mechanical way of working. This is a feature. Okay, I have to have this many test cases. There is a metrics of test sufficiency, test coverage. So they work in that aspect. Okay, if this is sufficient, is enough. Things is looking beyond. So we call it as a heuristic test strategy model, HTSM. It's a very known model, HTSM. So we apply HTSM whereby the testers are free to think, not only the testers, even the developers, even the ops guys, everybody are thinking onto what are the various tests that are required to be built. So what are the various areas that has to be automated. Okay. So that is the area we are saying automation of things and things. So we used to have in every product team, we used to have a collaboration meeting. Not only is the job of the testers to think about the test suits or new test scenarios, it is the responsibility of the dev team, it is the responsibility of the ops team. Together, they think about what are the various test suits or test scenarios that are required to be generated and what are the things to be automated. Okay?
So what is the automation in think? You are enabling a process that people are working. What is the automation?
Yes.
Automation is a repeatable task. Thinking cannot be repeatable, right?
Okay, before that I said this are kind of buzzwords.
I get that. So.
Yeah, these are buzzwords, some like managers, the blocks that we have started, but when we, depends upon the product. Some product may be having only 10 test cases and they can claim 90% as automation. But is it right? Right? So we want to see the coverage of the tests for the feature and then how much is automated. So sometimes when we work with the metrics, some we say 90% automated, 80% automated, but actual test coverage will be very less. You'll have only 10% of features get covered by the automation. Then you can't claim it. So it's a step-by-step movement. For your question, step-by-step movement we have done. Understand the complete availability of test suits and whether it is rightly covering sufficient enough for the feature. So that is second step. And third is how is your automation strategy to automate it. So slow one by one. Even now we can say we are 50-60% only automation. And that gets reduced, not getting increased. Even though we are automating more, but our percentage is getting reduced because more and more scenarios are getting introduced by the people who have experienced on the ops side, experience from the marketing side. So they are adding more and more scenarios. It's a healthy situation that even though we are automating more of the test case, our percentage automation is getting down.
Can I ask, like, what was the, I know that it won't be accurate, but what was the level of automation during stage 0?
Okay, for a straightforward question, automation percentage is around 80%. Okay, but do not look at metrics just alone automation percentage. Look with the coverage. Yeah. Looking with the coverage, we are around 30-40%. It's very frank. Okay. That answer your question? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. I mean, we spend so much time on automation, but now, I am working on a product for like 5 to 6 years, and the product evolves, it moves technologies, it works on various platforms.
Automation, test automation engineering, which means you're not piling up the automation. You're also engineering in several, which are the automations. Now it is not required at all. Because you might have changed the code, you might have removed the features, all those things. We also come up with a concept called one track or single track, where we know, okay, in this one, these are the features. For this feature, these are the automation. So rest of the automation, whatever we have done, which is accumulating for the percentage, we remove it. You don't anyway require those things. It's a continuous and tough job, as I understand. Yeah. And our people also struggling to explain to the management, yeah, we are 8, to say we are 40%, they say, why it should be 80? But context, we have to see how we can achieve that. Anyway? Can I have some water? Okay, now automated deployments, then here say we would, for a product, our product gets deployed in many deployment scenarios. When I say deployment scenario, not only customer deployment, even from the staging, from the development to the test scenarios to the even some product launch or some kind of exhibition. There are some scenarios we have to establish. So there are several scenarios that we have that our product need to be deployed, either for the trial or for the actual use or for just for the testing, like security testing. So we have to deploy in a situation that this security test can go on. So what we have done is, it is impossible for us to have automation deployments in automated in all these things. So we have taken a very calculated step of which are the key deployment scenarios that are probably that can be used. That depends upon the market, that depends upon the customer's category, whether it is customer A category or B or C. So that we have sliced it down, and then we have taken a focus. So okay, let's focus now on these deployment scenarios where we can automate. We have our own internal tools that we could able to configure and then to use it for our deployments. Okay. You can also find in YouTube Compass, COMP, Huawei Compass in YouTube if you type, you will find our think Manish already started about managed infrastructure and IAC. This related with this because the infrastructure from the carrier perspective or from the end user customer perspective changes. And it is impossible for us to redo and reconfigure every time. So what we have done is even the infrastructure part of the customer's environment, that also we have automated, which means if there is a change, we could able to change through automation. This area, as I mentioned over here, it is still going on. Okay, this we cannot claim it as success. And infrastructure code as infrastructure as a code, as he was mentioning. Not only production, you are not only pampering your production code, you also need to have the same pampering for your infrastructure code, whichever is used to for scaling up, scaling down, or used for logging and monitoring, or used for hosting in the various deployment environment. All those infrastructure code is also treated as the same way how we are treating a production code, which means we also lined up the continuous integration for the infrastructure code. We also lined up the continuous delivery process even for the infrastructure code, all those things. So not only production code, even infrastructure code. Tab engineering is also a buzzword over here. As we were saying, pair programming, of course, two programmers. Pair engineering is throughout the life cycle of the engineering. There are certain areas that need to be paired. Example, during the initial charter time or the concept time, marketing person as well as the development side, they need to pair together. Earlier, we just loosely use the word collaboration, but that when you say pair engineering, there is a kind of objective, there is a kind of outcomes that we have defined. Okay, in each and every phase, who has to pair with what? When you say design time, design doing the designers as well as the developer. Example I'm giving. Okay, or during the requirements analysis time, not only the software architects, even the operation engineers. They also provide, okay, this particular feature are required to be deployed in this scenario. So which means they give that kind of input at that time. So that's the reason the first one I made work. So they are working together. So in every scenario, depends upon the situation, we define who has to pair with what and then what kind of activities they should. It has so somewhat helping us to really understand each other's expectation and then providing that into the documents or providing that into your product line. Any doubts in stage one?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is novice expert and expert? What happens is if expert pairing goes on, then they will follow the structure which is already existing. So which is not actually good because we want new ideas to be implemented. If novice expert pair goes on, then there may be listen to master or we may have some disengagement because the novice pair may feel like he has to listen to the expert. And if the novice pair goes on, then they may not do the testing properly. So as a QA tester, what I feel is the pair program is really good, but it is only when we have the best of both.
Yeah, you've got your points. I can take it as an input and really see if this pair engineering, whether it's expert or novice expert, I can even change it. Thanks a lot.
Maybe can decrease or
Even though I mentioned pair engineering, we don't follow pair program. We try, we tested, and if it's not working for us, maybe working for you, that's okay. Pair programming is not working for us. I mentioned pair engineering is a discipline of engineering from your pair. Okay. Programming, we discuss. Don't ask me why. Any doubts? The stage one. Shall I move to the
Pair engineering, you said marketing works with the...
In some areas, some phases,
So
during the concept development.
So are you qualifying marketing team as also as the
I
engineering team?
mentioned the complete thing. Our DevOps is not Dev and Ops. Market.
Okay.
Yes. Because sometimes what market team will have, okay, this is what customer said, I have committed. Before even asking Dev, they will say, I have committed, give it. Can it? So the Dev guys, when I say Dev guys means not the programmers, I assume the software system engineering. So these guys also part of it. They also understand and then collectively they give the commitment to the customer. And then coming back. So market guys as well as some of innovation guys, they will think, okay, this is the kind of trend going on in the market. Let us capture those things in the analysis or during the concept. Or we do a third-party competency evaluation and see, yeah, this component, our competitor is having this kind of features. Let's include it. So it's a collaboration. So that's what I mentioned. I want to put a word above collaboration of pair. So which means there is a clear goal, clear direction, clear output.
So how does it fit into your agile model? I mean,
We don't follow Scrum.
okay.
We don't call it as I very strongly, when I say Scrum means it's just we are talking about a small project. Ours is a complete solution product. It runs for a yearly kind of thing. When small things, maybe some Wipro project are following Scrum, some are following some of the methods of Agile. That's up to them. We are not worried about that. What we want is the value, how we are delivering, and how we are contributing. Some people follow DSDM. I don't know. I don't know what is DSDM. Like that. You had some
What's the
questions.
size of your sprint units?
The whole product? Or
No, say example, you have a user story, product backlog, everything, right? So you have a particular team working on it. So
Epics, I have Epic, we call it as product level, and then we have also split into user stories. The whole platform team on, typically it's 300 to 400. 300 to 400. Like that, there will be several product teams. So for a solution, if we take, it will be around 3,000 to 4,000. It's a large kind of. Then taking the lunch break. Yeah. Next stage 2, we have come up with the automated acceptance test. Can anyone explain what is automated acceptance test? I want to take a break. What is automated acceptance test? Anyone?
Functionality is automated.
Sorry?
Functionality is automated. Feature functionality.
Right?
Feature functionality is automated.
Feature function automated. Even the user's acceptance test, starting from the user's acceptance test, or automated in a way of using the natural language. Anybody know Cucumber framework? Which is typically used for automation of the user scenarios. So it's written by the customer or customer representative in a natural language, which can be used as an automation. So we use the Cucumber framework for automating the acceptance test, which means upfront we could able to get not only the information of the acceptance scenarios, we also automate that. So that gets included in your initial state itself. So this is one thing which we have successfully done for a couple of products. Cucumber framework is there, or RSpec is also is there. So
How do you compare it with ATD, acceptance test? I mean, is it close to that or?
Acceptance test driven, acceptance test driven development. Yeah. This one will give a link, it will give a pointer to the driven development, not test driven development, automated test based development. Okay, next is on the DFX, design for X. Oh, I think I missed one. Okay, so operability. Because when you're designing a system itself, it's not just we are designing for the purpose of performance or all those aspects. Even from the looking from the it is anyway very natural. It's not that every product, any product company will miss out. From the operation aspects, from the serviceability aspect, somebody was mentioning how your product itself can be used for used to serve the operability and serviceability. One more thing I missed out is security. So design the system in such a way where it could able to help you for ease out this operation issues, ease out the serviceability issues, which typically faced by the end user. Example, even from the information perspective, for our product comes with information document. So what are the information that need to be updated when there is a change over here, and how that has to be tested. So all those things related to that are connected in DFX, design for X. Okay, fast development testing, it is more of engineering. Okay, now we know this is the development cycle, so how do we do fast? Now here comes the Scrum, your guys, Scrum, what else? Feature driven development, all those things are over here. we presume that is helping us for fast development. But not only we are limiting to Scrum or like that, we also take care of several initiatives based on the problems that we face, where we are lacking. Mini lean, we apply mini lean over here, and then okay. Delivery pipeline, I think due to time constraint, I'll skip. Manish has already explained about how it is very tough over here. For internet industry, is very simple. You know, you are developing your own hardware, it's quicker. But for us, there are several combination are there. Not everything will be reaching the development ready. Only one product I mentioned is the deployment ready. Everywhere they are just struggling with, okay, from my side, how do you push to the upstream? Downstream. Okay, there is upstream is there. How I can take it from to my product, from here to downstream. So those kind of pipeline designing is very tough. We are just going with this design. So it's quite of, you know, many devs are there, many ops are there. How do we make it? Manual activities management. Manual activities management. This by name is you could understand. What is this one? Manual activities management. Please tell me.
Anything which is not able to automate.
Yeah. What actually happens in an organization when, because automation, they forget about what are the manual activities that are to be done or it should be productive, which means there are certain activities which cannot be automated. You should have a more caution. Example, review. So we just, you know, skip that one, or we just, you know, overlook that one because there is an automation duty is there, that is there. We ignore this one. So we say what we made is there are some manual activities which are essential to be performed. How it is properly managed, and then there is a program we make. Okay, these are the manual activities can be elevated to semi-automation, full automation. This includes test case also, test suits as well as on the activities that you perform. So here there is a major focus on manual activities management, and yeah, feature driven. This feature driven is more from the ethic perspective. So there is a high level, you know,